Thresh, and I would say maybe even Jarvan the 4th would be a priority maybe to target against hyrqBot. Hecarim was used earlier in the day when comboed with that Fiddlesticks, and it basically just rolled over their opponents, and it was a great composition. I was unsure about Fiddlestick supports, but Jree made it work.
Struck fear into their opponents, Fiddlesticks and Hecarim together, and for a long duration, let's say that. Kassadin actually will be the final ban out here for them, and that means that Ocelote are not going to get him. It looks like Nunu will be an insta-lock in here for SK.
The question is this a Twisted Fate bait? Because they've let it slide through, and I believe this will be the first game that it has been let through the banning phase and has now been practically insta-locked there by Kerp. That will, of course, be given over to ForellenLord. I'm happy to see that Thresh, the fact that it wasn't banned out, has been picked up, and it was another one of those priority picks. My question now is, does Ocelote want to play something like a Zed, which is available as well, or will he go back to his Orianna, which, although unsuccessful yesterday, has been successful for him in the past?
So that's the thing. ForellenLord's Twisted Fate has been feared for, well, we can say years by now. It was pretty much an insta-ban against whatever team ForellenLord was playing in there. Gets it banned against him all over the place. But I have to say, he's not been 100% impressive on it when we've seen him in these top-level games. So we'll see how that one goes today. Malphite picked up, solid top laner there, and Ocelote actually locking in Caitlyn there for CandyPanda on the other team.
Caitlyn Panda.
Caitlyn Panda, Candylin.
Candylin.
And Lee Sin then for Araneae. We know that he can play Lee Sin to a top level. And Creaton's Ezreal. Brilliant Adrian player.
So what the Ultimate have done is they've left their top lane pick for the guaranteed last pick. So hyrqBot could still take that Malphite in the jungle if they wanted to, but it would most likely be the top lane, as Nunu will be that jungler for them. He's very powerful right now. I still think it's going to be an Orianna lock-in, and I think we're going to see that wombo combo of Orianna and Malphite. But we'll see how that goes. Over on the other side, Araneae, crucially, if he gets some good low-level ganks with that Lee Sin, it'll be very powerful. We're on patch 3.7, so Twisted Fate's Destiny does have a longer cooldown, so they're much more important.
So you can read into that what you will, but I wonder if that's CandyPanda saying, I want you to play Sona, and Nyph saying, no, I'm playing Lulu.
That's definitely a possibility.
Definitely could be a possibility here for this one. Or
it's AP Lulu.
They could change it in the last second there to Kennen. So.
Okay, so they've kept the wombo combo, but it's not the Orianna insta-pop. This is now knock-up from Malphite, slicing Maelstrom over the top with the Sona ultimate, and maybe some Nunu Absolute Zero slowing everybody down as well. So this is much more AoE focused, but prolonged battle.
Quinn being hovered over right now by alternate. Let's have a look what they've got. I mean, Twisted Fate for ForellenLord, Lee Sin for the jungle, Thresh support, Ezreal as the AD carry. So they're missing a top laner right now.
Yeah. And they're missing tank ability and survivability. Thresh and Lee Sin will get a little bit beefier and they will get some more survivability, but they're not your traditional frontline tanks like you would expect a Nunu and a Malphite to be in this situation. So if they go Quinn, this is an aggressive, this is a we want to kill you and keep killing you comp, because they're not going to have that prolonged battle. Vlad, however, will give them that HP, that sustain, and the ability to troll pool under the Slicing Maelstrom, under the Sona, under the Malphite. And that is actually what Lemon Dogs did to beat Ninjas in Pajamas, if I recall correctly as well. It was a very powerful Vlad pick.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen Vladimir so far here in the summer split. Actually, that's twice the amount that we saw him. In the spring split, he was picked only once by Gambit in their game all the way back in week 2 against the former Copenhagen Wolves, now Ninjas in Pajamas. So not something that we saw a lot of, but he started to creep in. I mean, this is only week 1 and we've already seen him twice, so that's maybe a sign of things to come from this one. But some very interesting champions coming out from this one. ForellenLord is going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders with that Twisted Fate to perform.
And we do see that Ocelote has taken teleport as well to try and counter those Destiny ganks from Twisted Fate. I think the Vladimir pick is probably one of the best picks of the entire series so far, basically because he can avoid anything and everything that's thrown at him. Once he eventually gets to Zhonya's Hourglass, that's going to be 2 moments of time where he's untargetable, uninterruptible, and is going to be able to survive, be a nuisance, get more damage, get more sustain, and basically just be a bother in the team fights.
On the other side then, of course, that Thresh an Ezreal combo. Creaton, as we said before, we've seen him time and time again be able to pull out top-notch performances with this Ezreal. We'll see how he actually builds him this time, whether he goes that more traditional route or more the blue build, which is, funnily enough, becoming the traditional route with the Ezreals these days. And the Thresh, which, you know, those hooks, we always say it, game-changing ability.
Yeah, it's the best way to describe it, and it's going to be even more important because it's going to take more time for the alternate lineup to get to that power position. Vladimir is going to need levels and items before he's a threat. Twisted Fate's in a similar position, and Ezreal as well. That blue build, it takes a long time to get there. On SK's side, Ken and Malphite, Nunu, Caitlyn, they hit those power positions a lot earlier. So they're going to need to make some aggressive plays early, and we actually seen a last second swap. Ocelote's playing Malphite in the mid, learning from xPeke yesterday.
Well, he learnt the hard way, actually, about xPeke's Malphite in that mid lane, or in the top lane as they were. He, of course, dueled him 3 times, and he died 3 times. 1 versus 1, no outside interference from that, so we were looking to replicate this one against ForellenLord's Twisted Fate. But here we go then, SK Gaming versus Alternate. And, well, it's Alternate that are in the better position currently in the league table of the LCS Europe, almost said spring, summer split.
12 weeks of saying spring split, it kind of becomes ingrained into you. But yeah, we'll see how well SK can handle this early level aggression. I like the Malphite against Twisted Fate. If he gets gold carded up, that passive of Malphite will help block some of that damage. I think I've said that a million times today already, but we've seen a lot of Malphite this weekend, so it bears repeating. And of course, if he does get a good unstoppable force, he can interrupt Destiny. Full vision of the alternate team means SK are completely aware of where their opponents are, and they're basically moving into the jungle of alternate 100% safe.
As far as I'm aware, they've only spotted Sona here, though, from the SK team going in. The fact that he's not come out of that jungle in that position will probably indicate that SK are going to be in there somewhere, but got to be a little bit careful about where they're going. You can see the alternate have got 2 wards down here on the bottom side of that jungle. SK doing a very similar thing on the top side. And it looks like, will they hang around here? Ocelote is actually recalling, but 4 men stood in position for SK Gaming, so indicates to me at least a golem steal.
Both teams have also got very, very deep wards, and with SK hanging around in this top lane, they may be looking to set something up on Kerp. Kerp has still not leveled any abilities, so we'll see what he does decide to skill. Ooh, if they face check, this could be so scary, and the fact that they only went for the golems means that Kerp is basically going to see them and just walk away. He's basically wasting some time from SK.
Yeah, just trying to bring a bit of apprehension there into the lineup. hyrqBot and co are still waiting at that red buff, and you can see the alternate have already called this one in. We have to react to this one. We have to get back, take their red buff to make sure that we don't fall behind in the buff game.
The problem is it's going to take them a lot longer. Look at Araneae's HP. He's down to 210 hit points. Thresh is trying to help out as best he can. He's going to get it down to within smite range, and he's going to be able to finish it off quite quickly, but it means he doesn't have that smite available for his blue. It's going to slow him down.
One really key thing to mention in this one, though, Araneae took the entire camp away. hyrqBot left 1. So that's not going to be respawning until an Araneae actually gets up there, which is going to be in some time here because he's going to go to his blue buff first of all.
And the one thing that does, it's a hit and miss thing, because now, of course, it's going to delay the spawn, it's going to delay the experience, delay the buff, which is, of course, all negatives. The positive is that it's going to be at Araneae's timing. So he'll be fully aware of it, which means they can pre-plan for it, get some wards, get some vision, and make sure it's not stolen away. ForellenLord took a massive chunk of damage from CandyPanda in this mid lane, and he's starting to chug through those potions and drinking from the flask, being the heavy drinker, as Kobe likes to say. So we'll see how well he handles this heavy poke lane of Caitlyn and Sona.
Now we see on the bottom lane, Jree just putting down a bit of harassment on towards Ocelote. See how well he copes with this 2v1 situation. A definite mix-up of things here with Ocelote going down into the bottom and CandyPanda and Nyph in that middle lane trying to get and succeeding at getting damage onto this outer middle turret early on.
And one of the key things about actually getting the turret down will be the presence of hyrqBot. Nunu will need to come into this lane, apply the blood boil to Caitlyn, and allow her to hit the turret faster, harder, and get 3 members onto the turret. They'll allow Sona then to zone out Twisted Fate, give him some poke, sustain up any damage that Caitlyn takes, and they can force that tower down quickly. Right now, though, because of the pressure on the bottom lane, hyrqBot's been forced to react and maybe going to come down to defend.
Yeah, gonna have to do something there. Ocelote doing the best that he possibly can here. The hold on, he's actually gonna get hooked out, but don't think the damage is quite gonna be there to finish him off as Creaton takes one hit from the turret. hyrqBot, as you said, will have to come across. In the meantime, SK are pushing this mid lane. Araneae just got a shuriken to the face to alert him to the fact that Kevin knows that he's hanging around there. And you see that middle outer turret is already down to half HP and more valuable than the bottom lane.
Yeah, the moment hyrqBot is relieved of this post in the bottom lane, I expect him to go mid, get that blood boil down in Creaton, and that should take that tower down. It's something that Ninjas in Pajamas were trying to do, I believe, when they were playing yesterday, and Bergström was actually saying like we needed to get that tower very quickly with our Creaton and Lulu combo. We'll see if an alternate can drag out the time frame. Oh, Araneae's got deep!
Araneae going very deep there. Actually had to get away on towards ForellenLord in that top lane. Kevin and Kerp have just had an exchange as well. It's all kicking off all over the map at this stage, but still no one after almost 5 minutes able to get that first blood. There's Kevin continuing to lay down the damage, and hyrqBot is now up trying to steal away the jungle of alternate, knowing that Araneae is in the mid lane and low.
Yeah, all of that damage that landed onto Araneae was basically because of Lee Syndrome. He followed in his Q, which he didn't need to do. Finally, hyrqBot shows his face up here. Will apply the Blood Boil to CandyPanda on this next minion wave. There are no minions there, which is why he didn't do it instantly. And that should actually be enough to take this tower down. If ForellenLord sticks around, he's actually within diving range HP because Sona does have Ignite. So let's keep our eyes on that.
There we go, Blood Boil is on. ForellenLord stun card onto CandyPanda. Best he can really hope for you to delay this one. Nice dodge of that Piltover Peacemaker. Can't really say the same for CandyPanda with the wild cards there. He walks straight in, but look at this, hyrqBot coming down to the bottom lane. And Creaton with a lantern back off to safety.
And basically, because CandyPanda opted to land an auto attack and go for that Peacemaker onto ForellenLord's Twisted Fate, he didn't get the tower. So it's just delayed at one wave, but he should be able to pick it up. CandyPanda's been caught by Araneae.
Going very, very low here, but not got the damage there to follow things through. Not got the follow-up of it and was scared himself of actually being turned around on. I think the fact that CandyPanda does have that barrier and flash available. This is a great thing, you know, flash just out of range of what Lee Sin can do to you, but you're Caitlyn, you are still in range to lay down that damage, so we'll see about that one, but still no first blood coming in. The important thing being, though, that they've managed to hold, at least for now, onto that middle turret.
Yeah, it's going to at least just give them a little bit more time to hold out, a little bit more time to farm, try to get ForellenLord closer to level 6, and we'll see how and where he decides to gank. We talk about Twisted Fate. It's the first time we've seen him in a long time since we've been casting, because he's practically perma-banned around the globe. It's like the #1 most banned champion, I believe, internationally. And, you know, when you look at the performances and the CY, Araneae is stood right on top of a ward, so hyrqBot's going to be rolling around. Neither Ocelote nor hyrqBot have their ultimates up. And if the middle lane of CandyPanda and Nyph start to come down, you can expect a fight. If not, basically just giving up the tower for free.
Yep, and it was Jree that just finished that one off. Nice little start from there on that one. hyrqBot right now is going to be spotting Araneae in the jungle. Can they go through? That is a very big snowball flying a long way as he gets away with the lantern. CandyPanda there going low in the mid lane as well. Where is the next action going to come down? Still no first blood in this game after 7.5 minutes gone. CandyPanda just starting to heal that all back up thanks to Nyph, as well as we are going to see Araneae come in. He's going to kick CandyPanda back. Can he get away? The wild cards land. Araneae gets first blood against his former team.
The ward that was put down in the middle of that lane allowed Araneae to dive up there, and because there was no animation of putting a ward down, CandyPanda had no idea that was coming. He had no idea that Araneae was going to dive in there and get booted in the back of the head. So first blood secured, a great positional play. You talked about it in the build-up. We know Araneae's Lee Sin can be great, and that was a very, very good play from him.
Exactly how it needs to happen here as well for Alternate. And that's the funny thing, Alternate have come out very strong. SK, not so much, I think we can safely say, in these summer splits so far. But this is more about, you know, old things to settle and, you know, just showing about who's boss in Spain these days. Although Peke might have something to add to that one in as well. Dragon going to be started by Alternate 8.5 minutes in.
Does he lose a few points or title to the claim after losing to UG earlier in the day? So is that a possibility? Right now, Dragon is started by Alternate. They've got vision, they've got control, and this is going to be pretty easy and free for them. There was no contest at all from SK.
ForellenLord actually spotting CandyPanda in the bush there, and that amount of people, especially the stun card plus the hook from Jree, probably would have ended up dead from that as the ace in the hole comes down by CandyPanda. Just going to be spamming that out to try and force them away. Funnily enough, that turret is still alive. The one that we were talking about at least 5 minutes ago, possibly going to go down in the next wave, is still alive.
And basically what that means is that SK are now tunneled into this lane. They cannot rotate, they cannot apply pressure elsewhere because they need to get this tower down. At the moment, they've now moved Creaton and Jree into this mid lane to defend it off and hold it up. And this is basically what cost the early game for Ninjas in Pajamas, being unable to get that early aggression of the tower pressure and the map pressure. It didn't play into their favor. Alternate, however, they made it work a little bit because they got the bottom tower early and then they picked up a dragon as well. So they've actually almost turned it around on their opponents.
There is Nunu just headed into the top side there. hyrqBot just going to try and cause a few problems for Araneae, who's actually a level above him here in that one. And Nunu, hyrqBot is going to just smite away that big wraith. He wanted that.
Yeah, desperately wanted to get that smite down and be able to obviously consume some of the other camps and get some of those temporary buffs on there. We're not on 3.8, we're on 3.7. Right now, ooh, Destiny has been channeled. Ocelote may be in trouble.
Yeah, he's going to get stunned up here. There come the wildcard's ultimate comes out. He uses the unstoppable force, but honestly, he's not going to escape with this one with his life. Nicely dodged by Creaton there in the end, and that will be 2-0 alternate. And there's the danger of Twisted Fate as Araneae comes in again, in towards the middle, going to kick Nyph back. And now, are they going to have the damage here or the health to finish things up? Jree now the one that's in a little bit of problems. hyrqBot going to go in there, but ForellenLord coming around the side as well. A messy encounter here in the middle.
But he gets the barrier from CandyPanda, which was very, very key. And that kill that they picked up on the bottom lane, Jree even got an assist. Ace in the hole, not going to be enough.
Very, very close there. I think Araneae realized it as he was walking home as if, please don't kill me, please don't kill me.
Don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me.
We're good.
Great play from Jree as well. He got a shield down onto ForellenLord just before he Destiny, which meant he actually got an assist on that kill as well, thanks to shielding up some of the damage. So, you know, great play there, getting in on the party, adding up to the score. We do see the mid lane tower has gone down, and SK almost putting something together in that mid lane, but Alternate able to fend off the aggression and not give away any kills.
hyrqBot very cheeky there, smite of the big wraith again, 2 times in a row, 2 spawns in a row, so you know, always getting that bonus. That's what you need to do these days with that Nunu. Tower damage coming in on the top lane. Kerp just trying to hold out as best as he possibly can from this one. But Kevin, at this stage, with that Haunting Guys and the Doran's Blade added in there for that extra AD as well, causing a few problems for him. But Araneae going to get into the top, but he is Kennen at the end of the day. He's just got to dodge that Q now from Araneae. Doesn't, but he's already back to the turret.
Yeah, he's not within range of being jumped on, and of course the Dragon's Rage was not actually available. If Araneae had timed that gank a little bit better, he may have been able to follow it up and kick Kennen backwards, which would then have allowed some kill potential. But unfortunately, literally going 3 seconds too early meant it wasn't available. 3 members of Alternate now are stacked up in this mid lane. Gold card about to be locked in for ForellenLord. If anybody jumps forward, it's basically taunting, basically saying, I dare you to come at me, bro. And he'll just lock you up and shut you down.
And if anyone can pull the right card at the right time, you'd have to suspect that it would be ForellenLord at this stage of his career.
He wouldn't be at 3,000 elo if he couldn't.
Yeah, he'd probably be at mine, as I have found out many a times playing Twisted Fate. As have some of the pros as well. Not going to lie about that one.
Yes.
But right now we've gone into a bit more of a passive stage of things. A 2,000 gold lead almost has built up for Alternate, because we are tied here in turrets 1-1.
Oh, take a look at the top lane though. You can see Creaton and Araneae sneaking around Kevin. We do see Kerp. He's had enough of Kennen. He's left the Electro Hamster. He hasn't engaged.
Oh, Creaton going right in there for this one. Araneae is going to actually land the Q there just before he gets stunned up. And here comes the Destiny for ForellenLord. Actually, is he going to pull the Q? Yes, he is. Under the turret. He will die in the last tick there coming out. There's the ultimate from Creaton as well to get some farm as he backs away. But another nicely executed gank from Alternate.
I believe the unstoppable force from Ocelote also missed as well. I didn't see just off to the side of the screen, but a very nice nice gank there coming from Alternate to secure their 3rd kill of the game, and that came from the fact that Kerp was like, I can't fight this guy anymore. He's been bullying me in the lane, and I prefer to go up against Malphite, who I'll have an easier time dealing with. Right now, the Kerp is very overextended. He's rolling that trackball at a mile a minute, and he's trying to get to safety as quickly as possible, and it looks like he does.
My mind is still boggled how one can be so amazing with such a mouse. And I actually had a funny moment last night when we were talking about it with, I think it was Heaton, the manager of Nyph, a Counter-Strike legend, of course, who said, imagine how good he would be if he used a normal mouse. Which, I think the answer from Araneae was his arm gets too tired if he plays with a normal mouse.
He's that much of a gamer person that moving the arm is simply too much energy. Right now, hyrqBot, along with 2 more members of SK, has snuck into this blue buff area. I say snuck, he's in full vision of ForellenLord's Twisted Fate, trying to at least put some pressure down and trying to at least challenge for this buff. They're 2,000 gold behind. Araneae is looking to make an engage. He misses the Sonic Wave, and it does look like CandyPanda is going to 90 caliber over the wall.
Yep, gets himself away from that one. Araneae is saying, job done. He won't be coming back here for a little while, and they get a bunch of wards down on top of that dragon area. We'll see if they go in for it. What I
really liked about that play as well, Araneae was playing the zoning game while the rest of the team got ForellenLord's blue buff. So they weren't actually looking for a fight. It was basically just fighting for space, fighting for an air of breathing room to guarantee that cooldown reduction and that mana regen for Twisted Fate. Right now, it's the first time that we've seen both teams grouped up as a 5-man unit. Absolutely nothing is going to come of it as SK decide they want to try to challenge for Baron. They're going to pink ward down themselves, and the pink ward war continues.
Yeah, lots of wards being put into this next Dragon's Araneae. And we'll just scoot over the top, and that's the greatest thing that Araneae can have right now. A load of wards from his team, dashing around left, right, and center. But SK are going to be starting off this Dragon. Are Alternate going to go from this one? Wouldn't be the first time today that we've seen Araneae get in there for the steal, but this time it won't happen for him. And Jree and Araneae are going to be melted here, right in the middle of the fight. There is the pull from Kerp. He's already got the Hemo plate down, as the Unstoppable Force comes in as well. They are in a lot of trouble here now, Alternate. Ocelote will fall in the end, and they're actually turning this one around. Double kill coming out. Creaton, can he get in there for the finisher? Kerp, is he going to flash away? No, he goes for the eat over the wall. Creaton will track down, and it ends up being a 4 for 3 in the end in favor of Alternate. That Dragon, though, did, of course, go over to SK.
That was actually a fantastic fight for SK up until the point they right-clicked on the wrong targets together. Their focus was not on the right people. They needed to get Creaton down first, and to be fair, there's a lot of damage threats from Alternate. Vlad, Lee Sin, Twisted Fate, Ezreal can all clean up a fight, so saying that they focused the wrong damage source is maybe overly critical of me, but if they had maybe gotten Ezreal out of the fight first, it would allow them to have controlled the Lee Sin, Twisted Fate, and the Vlad a little bit better in that engage. So overall, not bad. And I think if they can repeat the process but just get the AD carry first, it'll change the results of the fight.
There is that mid-outer turret finally answered back from Alternate, puts them 2-1 up. They've got a 3,200 gold lead at this point. And of course, that's 7-3 overall. Let's take a little bit of time here to look down the items, and Vladimir especially, Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, obviously giving him that AP, the cooldown, mana regen, which is not really going to be bothered about, but that Spellbound, which is a critical thing here for Vladimir.
Jack described that item in the best way possible, and I always use it because I really like it. It's the selfish spell vamp item. Instead of going for a Wota, to get team AoE spell vamp, that's a single item ability. Now right now, Araneae and Kerp, they were thinking about playing, but as soon as Nunu was revealed, they decided to back away, and that was wise to do so. In terms of some of the other items, we see a slightly modified blue build Ezreal. That's a Blade of the Rune King into the Elder Lizard, so or vice versa. We don't have a tier in the edge, we don't have the Iceborne Gauntlet, so I'd like to see where Creaton decides to go with that build. In addition, ForellenLord, he picked up an early Sheen, which would have signaled going for a Lich Bane, but then he's picked up a KG's Lucky Pick, which signals going for the Twin Shadows. So a little bit of indecisiveness in terms of itemization, I feel like, from the rest of the players.
Oh, Ocelote actually headed up to the top here. Kerp could be in a little bit of trouble, actually. He's going to go down from that one. Didn't even have time to get the pull off Araneae. Is he going to fall here as well? He's going low, but the Lantern will pull him out to the safety. The last second, I think he should have been in all rights, have gone down there in that scenario. ForellenLord trying to hold on to the turret, but I don't think there's anything left fighting for. for now. SK take it down.
That was a fantastic play from SK Gaming. They showed that even though they are down, they are not out. They comboed together, they managed to get a kill, and rightfully so. They maybe should have got Araneae, but with his shield and the Dark Passage Lantern, he was able to get away. ForellenLord's overextended. The passage is there, and he takes a ride.
Takes a ride to safety and slowed down all the way back to it, which was a bit of a risky play there, but ForellenLord, I think, calculated, but you never quite know with those kind of things if something's just going to put your plan out of work. So, everyone going to be going back home here. A couple of items being picked up. We see that CandyPanda almost got that Infinity Edge finished. Compare that over to Creaton, who is once again having a fantastic game at 3-0-2 and is ahead in the farm with that Blade of the Ruined King in there as well, of course, as his Spirit of the Elder Lizard.
So I'd like to see, he's obviously going to pick up a set of Mercury Trades, and I think that's fantastic items against all of the stuns and the slows and the CC that's coming down from his opponent. So it's a wise decision, instead of going for the likes of the cooldown boots or the Berserker's Bleed, which is a little more traditional on your AD carries, and Ezreal in particular. In terms of the rest of the items, I still want to see where ForellenLord goes. He hasn't been back to shop in a little while, and he has actually just completed the Twin Shadows. So he wants to get those Destiny ganks off and be a little bit more mobile around the map.
Yeah, and also a good item to be getting in there, of course, against the double AP team. Get yourself that 40% magic resist in there, which is, well, a great thing to have against the double AP team. Goes without saying, really. Right now, blue buff is going to be given over towards ForellenLord. We can see in the bottom lane that Kerp is just waiting here in the bush, being a proper vampire as he waits for CandyPanda to step out of line for this one. Araneae coming around. Here we go. Emo play is down. CandyPanda is in now all kinds of trouble as the cube somehow missed there onto him. Nicely dodged. Barrier used. He gets kicked and finished off by Kerp.
So a lot of abilities used, but they picked it up now. Nyph is a little bit out of position. Gold card is primed. Nyph gets stunned up. Araneae is going to follow the Lee Syndrome in. Nyph is not able to get kicked back yet. He's going to use the lantern to get to safety. Good play.
Here comes Twisted Fate as well into the mix of things. This could be bad, but here comes Kennen from the side. Jree now the one that's in all kinds of trouble. He will go down to ocelote, and that leaves us with 1 kill apiece. But support for AD carry, honestly, Alternate will be happy with that trade. Yeah,
at the end of the day, being able to take him out of the game, prevent him from farming, put him a little bit further behind, it is good. The one thing is, though, they did burn a lot of ultimates just to get that down. So the thing you've got to keep in mind is that if the engagement happens again and CandyPanda's got a little bit more support, he's going to survive and going to be able to continue fighting for the rest of the team fight. Right now, though, this is a 4-man stack of SK Gaming pushing out this bottom lane and just trying to shove down this last outer turret.
Yep, final one remaining for them. Would actually put them in the lead here on turrets and start to bring that gold very even. I mean, it's not a huge chunk right now. It's around about 2,000 gold. You see that brought straight back to just 1,000 at a 20-minute game. This is really cutthroat at this point. Very close.
This is also fantastic for SK because this is the strongest performance that we've seen out of them thus far this weekend. They're actually being able to make plays stick, and more importantly, they're being proactive as opposed to reactive. Right now, though, unfortunately, they don't have much vision of the dragon, so Alternate are going to secure themselves another dragon in the game and extend that gold lead just ever so slightly. But the numbers are so insignificant right now that it's basically dead.
Yep, certainly. If you look at the kill distribution as well for Alternate, it's really nice. Vladimir, 3-1-2, and 3-0-2 for the AD carry as well, Creaton. So, the kills right there are in those right places. Twisted Fate, as things go on, he's going to be getting stronger, but adds a lot more support in there with things. There's the blue buff being finished off and stolen away by Alternate. That's all going to add into their repertoire. And Kennen is in this top lane. He's got 4 men about to surround him.
Yeah, there's so many members of Alternate. They are just simply going to choke him out. Kevin's going to try to get to safety, but this is him going down.
Yeah, it's not really got anywhere to go, to be honest, from this one. I think he realized he was dead there.
Kind of feel a bit bad.
Finishes him off. Well, sometimes that happens to you. For some more than others, I'm going to add.
Yeah, take a look at this Nyph now. Gold carded up.
No reaction needed.
Before he can even finish the sentence, that is just popped. And everybody knows all the Reddit threads and the talk. Sona's base HP, I believe, is lower than the melee minions as well. So very squishy champion. And with the numbers advantage, 5 versus 3, the pressure is on. Alternate wants this tower.
Yeah, and look at that. Ocelote actually being caught off at the side there, taking a lot of damage. That turret is going to be going down here with this push. Are they going to get in there? The hook not quite landing, but they are going in. Twisted Fate is going to Destiny in as well. Now I'll get ForellenLord a step forward and then a step back with the lantern.
And that was a bit of a meh destiny, to say the least. I'm not sure if they were anticipating a dive coming out, but nevertheless, they did get the vision. It could have just been a defensive one, ensuring that members of SK weren't as close as maybe they thought. And basically, once that information had been gained, they decided, no, it's not worth the dive. It's smarter to back off. I want to see where Creaton goes with his build. He's picked up a long sword now, so I want to see how that upgrades. There's a number of options that he can go with. But yeah, it could be a Last Whisper, something along those lines. It's really up to him.
Yeah, and look now at Vladimir as well. Abyssal Scepter added in there, and he's getting close to that magic Zhonya's. As you said, 2 possibilities then to avoid everything that they can throw in for limited amounts of time. And now, in a team like this, with the Unstoppable Force in particular, that's really, really important.
Yeah, and the Crescendo as well. Those are the 2 key abilities that need to be dodged and avoided, because if you're caught by either of them and the team of SK actually focuses, say Vlad in particular, they can drop him down in that short time frame. So basically it's going to be up to Kerp to, pull away or Zhonya's up once he gets to that point. Right now though, it's basically still just farm fest. Alternate, they're in a strong position, but in order to push these inner turrets, they're going to need a lot more wards, and basically that's what they're trying to set up right now.
Yeah, and it feels like only just a couple of, in fact it was just 2 or 3 minutes ago that I was saying it was 1,000 gold difference between these 2 sides. That's moved itself now to 5,000 gold the difference. That's just showing you what that push down that top lane has really brought into the game for Alternate. Obviously the Baron hasn't been taken up until now, and you see that up there are a lot of wards from the Alternate side.
And not only, is it all stemming from that, that wasn't even an overextension. That was Kevin farming a couple of meters in front of his tower. He wasn't past a safety zone. It was simply a lack of vision. SK Gaming didn't have control of their jungle, which allowed Alternate to make that play happen. And I think that if SK want to prevent those things happening again, they're going to need a lot more wards. If you look at the minimap, I see 1 SK ward in the bottom half of the jungle and nothing else at the moment. And they simply need more vision, or they're just going to get collapsed on again and again and again.
Yeah, they've got Nyph now with an Oracle on, but honestly, what do you do if the wards aren't already there? You're always risking it when you go into every single bush, especially against someone like Lee Sin, who's in your face before you even realize what's hit you there. Then you've got Twisted Fate to back up with a Destiny if he needs to go in there. Creaton actually being pulled down here, and there's the Lantern, pulled to safety. That's a great thing about Thresh. Gives you that safety buffer for everyone.
What I really like about this is it shows that they practice with Thresh and the safety. SK are poising for a fight. They want to go in. Ocelote does have Flash available. Now ForellenLord is split pushing down on the bottom lane. And we'll see whether or not he wants to join this party. If Alternate group up, Ocelote is going to use that Unstoppable Force.
Oh, they are going to go in onto this one. Araneae coming around the side. Ultimate comes out of Ken and Kerp, going very, very low. We'll pull up here for this one. There's his Zhonya's being used as well. And in the meantime, SK are being shredded down. CandyPanda has to flash away. hyrqBot is going down. That's 4 men for nothing right now. And Alternate keep chasing here. Araneae couldn't quite get in there. The wildcards didn't have the range. And Alternate back away for Baron.
Alternate are demonstrating the answer to how do you deal with the wombo combo. You pick Vladimir. He pulled underneath everything. When he reformulated as a vampire bloodling thing, he eventually wins Zhonya's Hourglass, and he stood at 20% HP. They've spent so much time focusing and trying to kill him that when he's Zhonya's out, it just bought Creaton all the time in the world. He's at full HP. He was untouched in that entire team fight.
Yeah, and that's really bad news there as well. And I mean, let's forget ForellenLord in that whole time was pushing the bottom lane out as well. They managed to get rid of that inner turret, and the fact is he was in the fight when he needed to be as well. And that's another danger of Twisted Fate. We know this split push can be so ridiculously strong, and again, the elements of that coming into the play from Alternate.
I also want to replay, I just replayed in my mind how the positioning of that fight was. Jree actually put down the box in the middle of the lane, and every single member of SK had to go pretty much through the first 2 walls of that box to get there. So at least 2 of them got slowed down, and I bet actually Cannon Slicing Maelstrom was affected by that box. He got slowed down entering in there, and it was just great zoning. In and around the box, that was where the Sanguine Pool was from Vladimir, and it was basically just saying, look, this is Thresh's power. This is his zone. We've got the damage-soaking shield from the Lantern. We've got the box to control the movement speed. And, he basically just held everybody in place. So really, really good positional play from Alternate in that team fight.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you got Lee Sin to kick that Kennen straight back out of the fight, or stop Nunu's damage for what it's worth at this point, at least, from going out there as well. And all over the place here. Alternate are looking very, very strong. That gold lead is now at 10,000. That's 4 minutes after I mentioned that it was 5,000 gold lead. So slowly but surely, Alternate are carving out a bigger and bigger lead for themselves.
And all it does is it buys you room for error. So having this additional gold buffer means you're going to have additional items. For example, you can see the Iceborne Gauntlets are now completed for Creaton. So that blue Ezreal, although a slightly different build order, is ended up in the same place. And it basically just means that he's now got some additional armor to work with. So if he overextends, takes a couple extra auto attacks from CandyPanda, he's going to be punished less for it because he's got this item and this gold advantage. Ace in the hole gets channeled and hits Kerp for next to nothing. Basically right now it's just all on Alternate keeping the pressure down.
Wow, ForellenLord actually going in here on towards Ocelote. What is he trying to pull out from this one? Gets another stun card onto him. He's doing a lot of damage. That Twin Shadows was obviously used. And there is the Unstoppable Force burnt from Ocelote. And Alternate will say thank you very much. That's what's going in for a fight.
And Destiny's been used there by Twisted Fate. It looks like he wants to party. He's come actually behind 2 turrets. There's a crescendo.
Yeah, he gets crescendoed up, and he's actually going to die for that one. That was a catastrophe coming out there. But the rest of SK now going to feel a lot of pain as Kerp does use that Zhonya's. He will fall after that. The hook comes in on towards hyrqBot. Ocelote back into the fight. Double kill for CandyPanda. He won't be lucky enough to get away from Creaton though. And now it's all Ocelote, the man who had to use his ultimate to get away from the pressure in the top lane, who may just find himself dying right in the last stages of this fight.
Yeah, the power of that blue build Ezreal. So much damage over a prolonged team fight. I believe that was a quadra kill unofficially there for Creaton. Managed to get so much damage down. And the problem is that because SK don't have that, weren't able to single target focus Creaton, they simply couldn't remove him from the fight. They focused Vlad. Vlad Sangren pulled, he got his hourglass up, and again, it's just a simple case of so many damage threats and not enough damage to kill your opponent's damage. Basically what it boils down to.
There is an inhibitor. First one of the game going down here for Alternate. And of course, the other 2 inhibitor turrets are open for the taking here, but Alternate looking like they want to back away because they've got a whole host of gold to spend. 2,200 gold for Creaton to spend. He is now up at 1105, 1,200 on both Lee Sin and Twisted Fate, 1,300 even for Thresh to spend. So overall, they're in such a fantastic position. I've got a bit of deja vu coming on here from our last game where this is Alternate's game to throw.
Yeah, completely agree with you. There's no other words for it. The fact that Creaton's sitting on 2,400 gold, he's got a Doran's Blade in his back pocket. I imagine he's going to save up another 100, 150 gold, sell that Doran's, pick himself up a Guardian Angel, and look to go unkilled in this matchup. 11-0-5. Out of his team's 19 kills, he's been there for 16 of them. That is a massive percentage. I'm not going to try to do math right now, but like 80+%.
It's like 16 out of 19%.
That much, which is massive. And if you've got all of those kills in your carry, it is a risky build, dare I say, because if he gets dropped, then the rest of your team may falter. But because you've got Lee Sin, Vlad, Twisted Fate, basically they've got more people to clean up even if he goes down. Incredible. And I was proven wrong. He got a Hex Drinker instead. More damage.
More damage. Why not? Why not add that in there? That DFG just makes ForellenLord even more scary. We saw him almost take down Ocelote earlier on. That was without that. So, yeah.
And it's quite interesting as well, the build order that ForellenLord's gone, because generally if you go for like a Lichbane first, you tend to go double Dorans plus Lichbane, so you can actually get the benefit out of the Lichbane proc by having some ability power stacked up. He doesn't have the highest amount of ability power, which means even after he hits the Lichbane, the DFG followed up with Lichbane followed up with Magic, right now Alternate ForellenLord just got a free tower. SK did absolutely nothing. They didn't try to contest. Super Minions are in the Nexus, and right now it's just Alternate are basically finding opportunities where there were none.
I think this could well be it here in these next couple of minutes, to be honest with you. Alternate right now are going to be pushing in towards that inhibitor turret in the middle lane. They're going to have to fight for this one. We are going to see that crescendo coming out. Ocelote gets into the middle of the fight, but he's going to be a dead man. That's the first kill here. It's Creaton again that picks that one up. CandyPanda burning away at back. There's the ultimate coming through from Creaton. Kevin finally takes down ForellenLord. Well, that's a double kill now for Creaton. Don't forget he got 4 in that last engagement. And right now, Alternate pushing in for inhibitor number 2. The third one, of course, in the middle lane. Should they decide to go in here? Here
Oh, that's
come
a
the
brave
home guard
CandyPanda.
and that is a very dead CandyPanda. Kevin actually gets in there with his ultimate, uses a Zhonya's. He's going to die straight away afterwards. Creaton now legendary at 14-0-6 from this one. The Nexus turrets are going to go down, and this is a victory for Alternate, taking down SK Gaming for another win here in their first season of the LCS.
The #1 team of the summer split of the LCS is Alternate Attacks right now. Doing so well. Absolutely fantastic game. Completely controlling that matchup.
They're 3-for-1, right?